probably. Alright, it's November 18th, and I'm down here in Missouri. It's, I don't know, like the third day of rifle season. My dad and I went out, and he thought it'd be a good idea to take the two kids for their first hunt ever. So it'll be real exciting, I'm sure, if we see a deer. So they might even scare it to death. Who knows? But it's exciting. They're super excited. It should be fun. Hopefully we see a deer. I think the spot we're setting up in, we got a south wind, so it's blowing over this hayfield, but there's a section of woods that connects two bigger sections of timber, and the deer travel back and forth. So, plus we had a bunch of corn up in here, so hopefully we see something this afternoon. It's about 40 degrees, south wind. You excited? Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm excited.
Alright, well, it's about 10 to 4, and I just got done running the kids back to the house. They lasted a little while, but not too long, and they were just getting too reckless or anxious, I'd say, and they wanted to go back, so I took them back. We got about an hour and a half left to hunting, so I noticed when I was walking out of here and walking back in, there's an absolute ton of tracks coming out of this little draw here. So they must be coming out of this cornfield and cutting across this field. So, definitely a lot of good sign. Did you hear that?
Yeah, what was that?
An explosion. We just had a couple does come running across, and a pretty decent buck. He looked, based on his body, he looked pretty young, but had a pretty big rack on him. I think we got a couple pictures of a 10-pointer and then a 10-pointer with some split tines that are 3-year-olds, and it could have been one of them, but I think they might have ran down and went over onto the neighbors. I'm not sure. But it's Monday, so I think most of the neighbors have gone home. Be a pretty tempting buck, I think, if he came running by you. But a lot can happen in 45 minutes. So we're hoping that some of these deer still come out of the woods and out of the corn. We can get a shot at something good. He's coming out by that roan bale.
Yeah.
Oh, there's another one coming out of the corn way up there. See it?
Yeah.
Oh, there's a couple up there.
2 up there.
That's what they were looking at.
So he's out there walking around.
Oh, there's a big one up in the corn. What's that one, Dad? See it up there?
I don't know where he went.
Hanging behind that bush.
Well, that was the last I saw him.
Fence, Dad.
Yep, I see him.
That looks like a pretty big one.
I got 8 bale.
Yeah, he's pushing all the does around. You probably can't even see him in your... It's definitely a... If he needs to come this way. 100 yards. Oh man, that's a nice one.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Here he comes. He's coming. Alright. We got time. He's gonna come right down to this corner. Got about 20 minutes. Where could this really be? He's behind that hay bale. He's gonna come around it, okay? See him?
Is that him coming way out here by himself?
Yeah, he's gonna come in. Can you make that shot? When he gets, can you see him? Just
My safety off.
no, push it forward.
This?
Yes. Just let him keep coming, okay?
Yeah.
Alright, he's gonna stop. He stopped right there. How well can you see him?
I can see him pretty good now.
Oh, he's in range. If you put it just below that throat patch. Did you get him?
I don't know.
Did you jerk? I think you missed him.
Huh?
You missed him.
Did I?
You must have, because he's just standing there.
Probably too far now, ain't he?
No.
Huh?
Come up his leg and go about, I don't know, maybe 6 inches below his back, if that. Kind of looks like he got him.
Sure, a lot of white tails wandering off.
He's still on this side of the fence. Do you feel pretty solid?
Well, I felt like it.
Well, he's standing there. He looked like he tucked his tail.
So can you still see him pretty good?
Yeah, I'm trying to watch him to see where he goes.
Right.
Because he looks definitely hurt. And I've watched this video over and over and over again. And it was kind of dark. The footage is pretty decent, but I can't see where we actually hit him. But I can tell you, based on the deer's reaction and my experience, that I'm pretty sure this was a paunchette, a gut shot. Maybe liver, maybe back lungs, but definitely gut. So I think what I've opted to do is to wait till the morning to go in there. So there are a lot of coyotes in the area, but I feel like if we go in there now, we'll bump him and we'll never find him. Where this deer came out of the hills, there's just all these huge deep ravines that are thick, brushy. And most of the time, a gut shot deer will bed down within 100 yards from where you shot him, so you have a pretty good chance of finding him. But if I go in there and bump him, we have 100 acres of corn in, plus all these ravines, and so it's going to be a lot more difficult if I push him. See if we can find him. But it's the biggest deer on the farm. It's a buck I call Tine. My dad found his sheds last year when we were out shed hunting. He lived in a very small area of the farm, and that's right where we killed him. So the deer's definitely going to die, but I think this is the best move, is just to wait. So it's next morning at 7 o'clock. It's just gotten light, and we're out here to try to find this deer. And this is always a tough decision, especially if you're not using a camera. Fortunately, we have a camera. We use a camera so we can look back at the footage, and even though I wasn't able to tell exactly where my dad hit this deer, I could tell that he was hit, and he was hit good. And from my experience of hunting and shooting deer, and I've shot a couple deer in my life, I could tell by the way he was walking. I really felt that it was a gut shot. I'm not saying that we didn't get maybe a liver, or if that bullet fragmented, we didn't get a liver or something else, because he definitely was hurt. But I'd rather err on the side of caution and not bump that deer, because the way he was acting, I feel like he was going to bed down real quick. And if it was a gut shot, we gave him, it's been over 12 hours. We shot him at 5, so it's actually been 14 hours. And some of you might be thinking, well, what about the meat? What about coyotes? Well, I have to leave that out of the equation, because if he wasn't dead and I came down here last night, I could have bumped him and never found him. So hopefully he's not too far, and we find him, and the coyotes didn't get to him, and not all the meat's ruined. If it's a gut shot, there's a good chance that some of it might be ruined, but not all of it. So I based my decision off the reaction of the deer, how he was moving, how he was arching his back and kind of pulling his hindquarters in, and just the experience that Scott and I've had over the years. And definitely hit him. There's blood right there. It's either this one or that. I found a little blood. So he's definitely hit. I'm hoping that he just walked right up in here and laid down. I think it should have been these right here. Then he walks straight up. Guessing this is the trail, maybe. I don't know. Guys, he didn't go very far, but coyotes did get him. That's where we thought it was.
So the meat's ruined.
Those front quarters will be good. Probably his back straps will be good. You don't load your gun. Alright guys, well, I'm pretty sure we made the right decision. Unfortunately, the coyotes did get to him a little bit, but there is going to be some meat in him still. Back straps will still be good, front quarters will still be good, neck will still be good. They ate the back of him out. And I'm going to flip him over here, but the shot was right where I thought it was based on his reaction. And I mean, I bet he didn't go, what do you think that is, 8,500 yards from where we shot him? So, right where I saw him disappear, he probably didn't go, I don't know, maybe 30 yards. And you can see he's been laying up here for a while. But thank God we found him.